Why is like some poor downtrodden dude, Yeah.
Yeah. So well, I'm not Catholic, so I don't know the answer to that. But I think that in my opinion, right, is just me to be no little. The whole I think it's more about the messenger,
Mm,
right? I think that we cannot understand God in
mm,
my the will of why they want to do
mm.
certain thing and just think about right we are too small.
Yeah.
You cannot
Our
understand
brain can understand that
we
stuff. Yeah.
cannot process that. We don't understand the reason why all of this, and we try to use our own perspective to reasoning for something that we don't understand. That's not the same context,
Mm,
right? So why choose one? I don't know, but I think the whole idea about the right messenger is critical,
mm,
right? And the messenger by himself, maybe a test for him as well, you know
mm.
the same thing for us in the Buddhism, right? Why Buddha is or Phật is just like the only one that actually understand, right?
Mhm,
I think it's more about each of the messenger have a certain way of
mhm,
understand the message of God, right? I think for us the same. We are choosing do what we do right now. We are the messenger of God. We maybe not talk about
yeah.
religious. We may not try to, but we're helping other people. That's the will of God, right?
So what happens in this situation, right? I'm getting put this. Let's suppose an alien comes here, right? And this alien,
Another rabbit hole that you want
yeah.
me to jump
And
in.
so let's suppose this alien, for lack of better terms, like, hey, like he's able to read our minds, like all this power, he shuts everything down. And the alien say, you know what? I'm God. I'm the God of Hindu, whatever. I'm God, right? I think half the Earth would like worship him, other half would like, no, you're not.
Mm,
I think it'd be actually it's 50-50. Like 50% like, okay, you obviously your God is about the other half. You're like, oh no, I don't know you about God, and then try
yeah,
to fight him.
yeah. Yeah, alien is another interesting topic as
Mm,
well, right? And like I said earlier, right? In certain tribe or certain community, people pick a rock to be their god.
mm. I mean, like when the Israelites left Egypt and Moses was gone 40 days, they made a golden calf.
Yeah. So for alien, back to your question, yes, I think we actually more open with like alien all this stuff right now. I think it's a lot more documentation being
Yeah,
released. You can see, okay, when you I think I live in long enough that I start see the trend now
yeah,
that when people have some certain new big like that, they don't want release all at once.
yeah,
They want release pieces.
yeah.
And you see the news now more
Yeah.
open about it,
In the
right?
United States, Pentagon pretty much said there's UFOs out there. That they pretty much admitted UFOs are a real thing.
Yeah. And like when in the past, I remember when I talk about UFO, I'm like, wow, you crazy.
Mhm.
Now they like, maybe,
And another
if
theory is too, like there's no UFOs because usually they have UFO sightings by military base US. So the theory is like, no, it's not UFOs. It's like the next advanced technology of the United States military, right?
mm,
Doing stuff.
yeah. So that's another interesting topic as well. I feel like, okay, if you more advanced
Mhm.
civilizations, right? If you go into, let's say, American way more
Mhm.
advanced than Vietnam,
Mhm.
even in the early day, would you what we try to do, right? You would try to observe and you try to impact and manipulate certain thing, right? Any civilization, that's what when you got advanced
Yeah.
and they're lower, you will try to force certain thing over. Same thing if an alien come over to Earth, we are way behind. If they can
Yeah.
travel that fast in
Mhm.
times and they can do a lot of things like that,
Yeah.
they're way more advanced, right? So what you want to do with that lower civilization? Well, one, you can observe them like you are true scientist, you want to
Yeah.
observing, or two, you want to make certain impact. You plan certain thing that go the way you want to go. So different
So I
way.
have another theory too. It's off the wall. So you know how like there's like the ants and bees,
Mm.
like we know ants and bees are there. We don't pay no attention to them, right? We're kind of way over them. Like we might see them all the time. And like bees and ants are kind of challenged, right? They build stuff. I think there's something above us like that, right? There's something like we're bees and ants, is something way above us. Like is that God, angels, or aliens? I don't know, right? I think there's a hierarchy to that.
Yeah, so this is something I feel like we have. I think is it in the Bible they said that as well? It's like God create human on in His image,
Hmm.
right? So I think there was certain truth to that. I think that will maybe we are the descendant of certain being,
Mhm.
right? And Earth is just a testing area, and I think that maybe we at a certain point when we're ready, we connected to God, right?
Yeah.
The one that created us, right? So I think there's certain truth about that. For me, uh yeah, that's why I'm saying like every day, every decision we make important. That same thing that we said in Buddhism as well, is that we call karma, right? So everything you do now is record for your future, right? So what you do now is meaningful for what happened your next life, right? And we have a whole idea about karma if you have time to talk about it, right? But I think the idea about that one is if you're looking at more into kind of scientific modern life approaching to it, it makes a lot of sense, right? If we think um, our body is some sort of hardware, a computer, then your mind needs to be stored somewhere in the memory frame, right? And when you move from one computer to the next computer, you want to migrate your data, right? So in the past, what you do is you basically take a hard drive and you copy it, right? Nowadays, you can upload it to a cloud and then you migrate to a new computer. So that's what I'm thinking about in the human life as well. When we move from one life to the next life, you basically, when you die, you upload certain data and back into your cloud. And there's certain concept of that in Buddhism. I don't know how to say it in English, but there's certain. So they say that in our body, there's certain they call tử is mean like the Vietnamese say it. I don't know how to say it in Chinese or American. But basically you have a certain thing in it may be your soul. When you die, you release that. And when you move in the next life, part of that it come to your next life. That's why you see a lot of people that they can a young kid that can see something in the past because there's a glitching in the data that you can actually see some of the past. That's why I think a kid that they can have a certain when they don't have language, right? But they still communicate kid to kid because they see pattern. So I feel like there are a lot of things that we don't know about that, right? And I think that our life right now. That's why I'm saying my mission in life is focus on the next generation because I believe the next generation is me also.